Are you 25 years old or in your 20s and you have student loan or other debt that you're concerned about paying off? Maybe it's at a higher interest rate level, but you're also asking yourself, should I get started investing? And I think the answer is to do a little bit of both, and I'm going to explain why. My name's Phil. This is Finance PK. Welcome back to the channel. The goal of this channel is to help beginning investors, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s, maybe even younger, but maybe you're older, maybe in your 30s or 40s like me, and you wish you had got started younger investing. This channel is for you. I want to teach you some and share with you some basic ideas about compound interest, basic first steps to get it started investing, build that confidence, and then get going and let compound interest do its work, right? So this video specifically is if you're 22 years old or in your 20s, you're asking yourself, should I get started investing or should I pay off this debt? Now, the answer is to do a little bit of both. At least that's my recommendation, and here's why. The first one is if you have a higher interest rate, especially if that's 5, 10, 15, or maybe even more interest rate that you're paying on the student loan or on credit card or other debt, you want to get that paid off sooner rather than later because you have such a big balance that you're just throwing away 5 or 10%, basically throwing that away per year. In some cases, you can deduct some expenses, right, with some debts. But the idea there is you want to make a plan to pay that off sooner rather than later. However, you also want to get started investing because the younger you get started investing, the more time you have for compound interest to do its work. And the rule of 72, which applies, where you double your money every 4 to 7 years if you're making about 10 to 15% per year on average gains in your investment, especially if you're invested in certain ETFs and stocks that I talk about on this channel that I'm going to share in this video. So the answer, if you're 22 years old or in your 20s, do I pay off the loan or do I get started investing? You want to do both. At least pay that minimum payment, make a plan to pay that loan off sooner rather than later, but also you want to at least start, I recommend a Roth IRA. You might have the option to do a 401k or a DCP or different pension plan as well, where you get employer matches. That's money that you want to take advantage of, right? Don't leave that money on the table. If you can start that as well, you can start right now with whatever you can afford. It might not be the full $583 a month, which is the legal limit for the Roth IRA in 2025 if you're under the age of 50. It goes up to $8,000 or $667 a month about if you're over the age of 50. So you want to at least get started with whatever you can and automate that. Automatic withdrawal beginning of the month or whatever time of the month works for you to have that taken out of your bank account because that's post-tax money in the Roth IRA. It would be pre-tax money through different types of pension plans and through a 401k. But the idea there is that you have a plan to pay off your debt, and then that second step is you started automating, you've started investing in the Roth IRA or in a different pension plan, investment fund. Once you're in that, you will have options to invest in index funds. I recommend a few. My favorites are VOO, VGT, VTI, QQQ, just to name a few. And those are investments with Invesco and with Vanguard. However, there's many different options. The S&P 500 fund, which there are hundreds, probably even more of funds that you could choose from that are low cost funds that you can invest through your Roth IRA or through your 401k. And so in essence, you're doing both things. If you're asking yourself, should I pay off my debt, high interest loan, or should I get started investing? You should do both, and you can do that over time. For more investment ideas and suggestions, information like this, please subscribe and check me out at Finance PK.